cold outside, very, very cold. Fingertips are cold. Gotta have my hood on, my sunglasses. Look kind of goofy with those. All right, but pretty much today we're gonna be, I already got the shocks on actually. So I'm just gonna kind of be sharing with y'all my experience with Alden America's rear shocks, installing them on a 1990 Chevy 1500. Now, I'm pretty sure it's the same whether it's extended cab, single cab, four-door, as long as it's a 1500. I'm pretty sure these shocks are the same. Go on their website and check them out to see if there's any differences. But for today, this is the truck that I'm working on, my personal truck, a 90 1500, single cab, long bed. I got everything laid out for what you're gonna need. You're gonna need a 21, and that's for the lower shock mount down here that goes to your axle. You're gonna need a 19, and that is for the Alden shock. This is how their upper mount works versus like an OEM style. You're gonna need a 19 for this bolt, and then you're gonna need a 14 for Alden. Their supplied bolts that they come with that mount this to the frame of the truck is a 14 millimeter and a little extension, because on the driver's side it's a little bit hard to reach. And then on mine, the bolts that were, this is not an original bolt, but it is the same size as original bolt from what I remember. The bolts that Alden gave me are bigger than this one, so I did have to drill out a little bit on the frame, and you know, so you also need a drill bit of some sort. This is just the one that I have. Run it in there real quick, just barely, and it kind of reams it out a little bit, so that way your new heavier duty bolts can fit in there. And that's pretty much it. So I forgot, that's not pretty much it. So on the lower, this rubber bushing and whatnot is quite a bit larger than the mount on the axle. So I've did this trick where you just have, you know, either 3 bolts and like something like this, or a bolt and 2 nuts and like a washer, and then you just kind of spread it apart, and that kind of worked a little bit, but I might have to end up kind of shaving these down. Luckily this is kind of like a hard plastic, so I think I'll be able to shave it a little bit. Same thing, I might have to shave that down a little bit, so that's just another thing that you're gonna have to look out for too if you're installing these shocks on your truck. So in case you didn't know, this is what this kind of looks like. So you would either have a bolt, or in my case it's this stud, and then you would want threads all the way through. So you put that bolt through, put this nut, kind of sandwich it in right there, and then with this nut you just keep turning it, get a wrench and keep turning it, and it will push it out. So you might have to do it a couple different ways. You might have to push that way, and then, you know, flip it around and push this way and push that way, you know. Just play with it. Maybe that'll work for you. Maybe you don't even have to do this. Who knows? All right, so my little bolt trick worked. These are really snug though. So add another tool, nice little mallet or dead blow. It's very soft, and you know, just tap tap tap, and then I tapped right in there so that way I could push it in more, and boom, lined up, ready to go. So I don't know what happened when I was installing this, but I had to put a lot of extra weight on the passenger side truck bed, which I'll show you in a few, but it was not lining up at all. Otis and Cooper. We got big head and we got little head. All right, so I don't know why this other side wasn't lining up, but got it all together. And I actually just got rid of the flip kit on this, and then I was putting these shocks back on, so I'm wanting to put it back to stock height. I still have to, I got the coilovers on the front with stock spindles instead of drop spindles, so I still have to raise those a little bit, but as of right now, I'm happy with how it turns out. And pretty much to get that shock in there all the way, I put in a couple extra tires. This has been in there, these were in there, so that kind of helped. And then you got this guy helped a lot. Overall, it's not really the worst install. If I had to rate it, I'd probably rate it like a 10 being mad easy and 1 being super difficult. I would give it like I don't know, it's hard because you can't really, it's aftermarket, so you can't really expect it to go in like perfect. So I'm saying I'm gonna give it like a 7. Honestly, I give a lot of things a 7. But I'm gonna give it like a 7. A 7's not bad. It really wasn't that difficult, and now if I had to do it again on a different truck, then I kind of know exactly what I need to do. It took a lot longer than I expected because of all those little nuances, like the weight on the rear not going down all the way and it not connecting to the axle, and also the like drilling out the holes up top. But overall, I'd say a 7 out of 10 difficulty. Real easy. Now I just got to clean up, and yeah, that's it.